are live. Welcome, everyone, to the Middle Experience February Political Wrap-Up. I'm here with my man, Pastor Daryl James, and Craig, and Soul Toucher. All right, how y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Doing great.
All right.
Hope everyone is doing well.
Yeah. So, first of all, don't forget to click on like and subscribe and comment. If you like what we're saying, like and subscribe and comment. If you don't like what we're saying, like and subscribe and comment. Just like and subscribe and comment because we want to hear what y'all thinking about. All right.
Yes.
So, the topic for today, the Department of Government Efficiency. Is this month, and we've been hearing about mass layoffs, cutting of services, cutting of grants, everything that basically said was going to happen is happening right now. But it is this department. First of all, is this department even new, and is it really even? Are they really even accomplishing anything that they say they're accomplishing?
As far as new.
I can jump on that right away. I mean, the department's not new. It was just reorged. It was reorged, and like I only knew that because I was watching when Trump came in office. I was watching other news outlets, and they were saying how clever Trump is going to. They said, "Watch." You would hear things like, "Watch what Trump is going to do," and how they figured out how to do what they did. So what happened was people got caught off guard because technically, the president of the United States can't have he can't have appointments without them going through Congress unless they come through the executive branch. There's a specific way that you can't otherwise, because the president is the only elected official by the nation of people. Well, it's really not by the people, it's by electoral college, to be clear. But technically, he's the only person that's elected at the highest government official level. All of the other people, like Congress people, they're elected at the local and the district levels and things of that nature. And so all of the cabinet peoples that the president appoints, they appoint through they have to clear Senate. So they have to clear the Senate. But if there's an executive branch has the right to put together for any particular initiatives, anything. But the problem was, even if he does it, he still has to go to Congress to get it funded. So what he did was he just took Obama's program that was already funded, he already did it, and just reorged it and made his appointment inside of there. They don't have to be, and those appointments don't have to go through Congress. Same way Obama had guy Matt, whatever the case may be. So Doge became an organization that was made possible through the Obama administration, through when they was building the website and they was doing the technical stuff with all of the clearances and everything that they had and the access to information. All that stuff was embedded in it. And so basically that's how that organization came about. That's how it came about. But they were very clever in how they did it. They just took something that existed and said it's already here, it's already funded. So they didn't have to go to Congress and get no funding for it. They didn't have to appoint anybody. Elon Musk didn't have to go through Senate clearing and Senate hearing and confirmation because he just took what the predecessor. That's why when they took it to court, they knocked it back down. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is already done. And so for me, watching that stuff play out and seeing how the press and stuff goes in and all the questions, it kind of baffles me how people just don't do research and find out and say, we got AI and we got everything here today. You can find out anything you want to find out. I just don't see how that information is just not known. It's right there. You don't even have to go looking for it. You can Google it. A
lot of people were caught off guard. A lot of people lost their jobs. Now you got a lot of Republicans who are trying to backtrack. Like I told you yesterday, they keep the lies going. They're backtracking with their constituents because their constituents are upset because they're losing jobs. And they're saying, oh, well, we should have gave them a heads up. You understand? Now you got constituents losing jobs. People aren't able to put food on their table because they lost their job. They're scrambling to find a job. Give them a heads up. And that's what this administration is not doing. You're not letting people know what's, to be prepared for something. From a compassionate standpoint. Let these people know that they're going to lose their job. Let them know they'll be looking for a job. You fired people that you didn't even think to fire. You're trying to unfire them. You're trying to rehire people because you were firing so fast. And one of them was a nuclear plant. What the hell are you doing? Come on, guys. Like I said before, it's one thing to come in there and tear things down, but have a plan. Have a plan. That's all I ask.
That is the plan. That is the plan.
No. That's not the plan.
The plan is to fire people. That is the
Daryl, you're not going to. Daryl, hold on. You're not going to do that. Hey, when your plan ceased to bring what you thought it was going to bring, meaning he thought people were going to be like, yes. No. You fired people you had to rehire. That's not planning.
No.
Well, there's a difference between having a plan.
Once again, I can take every one of those. Once again, I can take every one of those arguments. And here's what I like doing. I like listening to the argument. I mean, if you guys don't know it by now, I debate. Okay, so I'm an apologist. I'm a Christian apologist. I go on talk shows, I debate. My thing is called a God perspective. So I'm always going in. I go into Muslim territory. I'm deep in Bibles. I'm not just a pastor. I'm deep in theological studies. My last book that I wrote was called The Quantum Anatomy of Faith, where I'm dealing with quantum physics and the elements of faith. So I'm heavy into debate arena. And as a debate person, I'm always looking for red herrings, different fallacies, different things that people do that never stay, because as a person who debates, I make sure I go equip myself and get informed to see what the argument is. Because I already know people pick up sound bites and they pick up things that they're hearing, but then what happens is they're never reading the fine line in the prints. They're never reading the documents or the contract. They just pick up what the points out of the contract that they want to. Like, so for example, I'm doing a study right now, haven't finished it yet. So the Republicans just voted on the bill for no taxes for no taxes for tips and
overtime.
So overtime, right? So it's put out there. So the Republicans put out there, 212 Democrats voted for this, and they're pointing at that. But I do my research because I don't want to get caught off guard arguing at a point. The Democrats are bad, because I don't know what's in that bill. That maybe something else in that bill that Democrats really say, hey, we can't vote for this because of that thing in that bill. It's something else in that bill. What I'm saying is I do my homework. I'm not trying to pick on one side or the other one. What I'm saying is that most Democrat publics, the reason why I have a problem with the liberal media is because the liberal media was my media. It was my media up until 2022. Up until 2022. This is not recent. This is not like 4 or 5 years ago. Up until 2022, those were my people. And so now when you start digging in, like I start using the same methods of apologetics that I did with my news, whatever the case may be, I'm like saying, yo, man, they're not telling the whole story. They shaking and baking and putting things in the spin cycle and putting it out there. And I'm not saying that the Republicans may not be doing the same thing too, but I was never a Republican. and contrary to what you believe, I'm not.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'll tell you what, everyone that comes at me, man, they said Daryl is high. Daryl is a Republican.
You know why? Because in a Democrat mind, if you're not for us, you against us, and if you're on the other side,
that's what all of them. Yeah. That's what all of them. That's what everyone.
I see it on both sides.
Well, here's the point, though, which means that each side wants you to pick a side. You can't be neutral and say you're neutral and be dealing with those issues, because I can go into the Republican camp and deal with people who are Republicans and tell them about because there's certain things that Republicans just don't do for the welfare and the well-being of people. They do have issues, major issues over there.
Yeah,
so I'm not.
Do it.
Yeah, but when people say that, people can say, oh, he's pretending to be. Anytime anybody's eyes unlopen, now all of a sudden they're gonna get thrown under the bus, no matter who you are. No matter who you are.
What you guys say?
If you are Colin Powell and you switch sides, you're gonna get thrown under the bus. No matter who you are.
I was gonna say, Craig.
Go ahead.
No, Craig. You talk about having a plan. There are some people that are revolutionaries, and there's some people that are anarchists. Revolutionaries had the plan to tear it down in order to build it better. Anarchists just want to tear it down.
Right.
Because there are some so that's the plan. That all this firing is anarchy. That's the plan. They just want to tear it down.
He made it seem like that was the plan to hire the people. Yeah, no, you messed up. That's about what you got.
Yeah. I think, on the grand scheme of things, I think it's beyond liberal media, independent media, right-wing media, whatever the case may be. When we are sitting here listening to these individuals and watching what they're doing and watching the outcome of what they're doing, it's like, put media aside. If you are just going in there and saying, oh, we found fraud here, this, that, and the other, because of this Doge group that you created and repurposed from a previous, whatever, show us what you're finding, because you're saying there's people 165 years old getting this, that, and the other, but you have billions in defense contracts and you're getting paid to provide this service because you're a special appointee or whatever you are. Like, what are you really saving here? You go in there and you start firing people because and you're firing them with lies because of your performance and this, that, and the other. And it's like, right. What time did you take to review all these individuals' files of anything like that before you started firing them? I work in one of these agencies where a lot of these people were fired, and part of this agency that had to be rehired because they fired them indiscriminately. It's like, help me understand, because I work in one of these agencies and you fire these people who are responsible for nuclear weapons and stuff like that. And you're saying because you're saving money and they had poor performance and
to answer your question, if you go on the Doge website, have you been on the Doge website?
No.
So it's a site called dog.gov, doge.gov. You can go in there and see, he explains everything. It's that transparency model. They go in there. So one of the things that they do with the firing of people, because they have something like $600 million worth of people, up to $1 billion of people that's on payroll, that they're not sure whether those people, so they're doing things. As a matter of fact, Charlemagne the God had they interviewed somebody on the phone over it, and what they did is they had a plan to ask the people 5 questions about how they felt or whatever the case may be. They're doing that intentionally to see who's responding, because they're trying to figure out where some of these checks are going, that they don't believe these people are real, and they have reason to believe they're real.
But if you are firing people,
no, but listen, the FBI is involved with that now. So what I'm saying is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But so Trump backtracked. Trump went against Elon on this. Trump said, the White House said, no one has to respond to Elon Musk in those questions. He just came out and said that. Look it up.
Okay, but
yeah.
Did you verify?
You talking about what he said today? You talking about what he said today? You talking about what he said today? Oh, yeah, well, today he was saying.
According to my thing, as of 2 days ago, when I knew we was going to do this, that they was having a meeting and they were talking about how the press is trying to create the conflict and issues and over things that they're having and doing. And I got that video and I can bring it up. None of the stuff they're saying, none of the stuff, both of them saying none of the stuff is true.
The White House.
But if you have a cabinet meeting today you have a cabinet meeting and you're talking about this email that you sent out to government workers talking about Well, it's just simple. All you got to do is answer these questions, and it's not that big of a deal. But my issue with that is, if you're going to have, let's just say, a consulting firm to come in and consult and see what is what, how about you do that first before you start firing people? And then how are you going around the agency heads, around their leadership, their management, supervisor, this, that, and the other, and you're asking the workers directly? How about you have the agency conduct all of that and then send it up forward and then determine what is what? Or let the agency do all this work instead of you creating Doge and you just blasting out emails telling people that your performance is poor or your actions are not for the betterment of the country and this, that, and the other. That just makes no sense to me, especially when, again, you hire people have been on probation, whatever the case may be. And I understand that you can lose your job for poor performance, but if you don't have poor performance, why are you firing these people? And on top of that, again, give these people a heads up, because some of these people have moved across the country. And I've seen other content creators on YouTube saying, oh, well, they knew they were at-will employees and they knew this, that. And it's like, at the end of the day, would you want someone coming into your organization that does not know anything about your organization or how it operates and say, all right, I'm gonna start firing people and doing this, that, and the other, and I found this and I found that? And it's like, who are you to come fire people that you know nothing about?
Okay, so I listen and let me respond. So this is what I was trying to say before. I think that it's almost like, and I don't mean to be offensive or anything, but it's almost like, it's like the position that you're taking is almost like one in which we listen to the rhetoric, we listen to the complaints, but we really don't have a grasp on the underlying realities. Like, one of those realities is that a part of the work that this organization is doing, like, for example, the $2 billion that Biden put in office, and I don't think that Biden did it, that he allocated towards Stacey, because I know you guys heard about that. Stacey Adams' organization, $2 billion is sitting in that particular company. And I got the stuff on it, because when I hear stuff like that, I always go back and kind of do research. I'm always kind of saying, okay, well, let me see the spin. Who's ever telling the news? I don't believe Fox. I don't believe the liberals. I don't believe any of them. Let me dig a little bit and let me see what's going on, what's here. So a lot of it, like, for example, the EPA, a lot of those agencies have been bucking the orders of the commission that has been going on. And so this has been the problem that Doge is reporting even during the Obama and the Clinton administration. Specifically in the Clinton administration, that it was hard getting past the bureaucrats with getting inside of the organizations. So these guys and that's why if you listen to their media and listen to stuff that's on them and they're putting out, they already understood the history of why Clinton couldn't do it. Because Obama didn't start this, Clinton started this. They just reorged what Obama did into Clinton's mission, and we figured out how to go in and start cleaning house to eliminate the government waste and the spending and all of that money that's going on to different places, stuff that we don't even know about, stuff that the American, and that's what the Doge website is for, is so they can be transparent to let people know what they're finding. Like, every day they're making cuts, and they come back and they let the people know what was cut, what this money was earmarked for, and why they feel that this was not appropriate. And most of it is overseas money that's coming out of our taxpayers' money, going to Afghanistan, going to other countries that have nothing to do with our American tax dollars. So they publish that on that site, so anybody can go look at it. And it's great that they have it there, because even when I get it there, I try to do some research to find out, well, what does this organization really do, what it is, so I can be informed. Because once again, I like to get into the weeds with this stuff and treat it differently than, because most of my life I just believed what the news said. I trusted it. So now I don't trust it anymore. And so I'm looking at.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to. So I'm saying, when you're saying some people are feeling like this, the bottom line is that have you looked at why they're doing what they're doing? Have you kind of gone to say, oh, it's just like, we don't know what they're doing, but they are putting, like, How many of you guys knew that this website was out here? You wouldn't know it unless you were watching other media.
Here's the thing that I combat with it. Clinton severed 300,000 jobs, federal jobs, when he came into office. But he did it through Congress. You understand? He did this through He went to Congress. He sat with them. They voted on it. That's how they did it.
Obama did the same thing.
They did it the right way. Musk isn't doing that.
Okay, but why do you feel that's the right way? Like what?
Right
like,
way is, again, from a compassionate standpoint, we have people who pay taxes. We have people who go to work every day. They go to work every day. All of a sudden, they say you're fired. No fault of their own. You understand? No fault of their own. You had to have had some type of disciplinary action, work,
performance,
or whatever have you. You had to have had these things per the courts. The courts said it as well.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. You understand?
So what I'm saying is this. Here's the point. Stop right there. So if this is the point, this is what eludes me. When you say that to me, I'm intelligent enough to say, if they fired 1 million people, say 1 million people illegally, that's a lawsuit against the federal government. And if it's a lawsuit against the federal government, then we should see the chain of custody, unless it's rhetoric.
No. The courts have already ruled that it was illegal. The courts have already ruled on that. You understand? When? Trump has lost that battle. Yeah, they just talked about that. Yeah, they just
lost 3 court battles today. Was it today?
Yeah, that was today. He lost 3. But what I'm saying is he's lost that battle. That's what I'm saying. But he's still bucking. Now here's the thing. They're putting things in place. They're changing rules and changing the game. Democrats aren't bold enough to do the filibuster, to kill the filibuster. They're going to do that. They just put it in the bill. They're going to do that. Trump, how does he get security clearance? Please tell me.
Trump already has security clearance.
Yeah.
Huh?
He has top security clearance.
Right. How? As a felon. As a felon.
No.
Yeah. He's a convicted felon.
Oh, you mean Trump?
Yeah. As a convicted felon. Elon. Yeah. How you get top security clearance? And how Elon get it? Right.
I don't know how to.
And not to mention, today, or was it yesterday?
Now, Elon had it through Trump. Elon had it from Obama.
Here's the thing.
Okay, so at the beginning, Trump and Elon mixed up here about who's doing what. It makes me wonder who's pulling whose strings here.
Yeah. Well,
who's the puppet master?
I mean, Elon's son kind of.
You know, the other issue that I have with this whole thing is, so they're targeting just random people, and they're talking about getting rid of bureaucrats. As far as I know, firsthand eyes experience and understanding, these people that they're firing are not bureaucrats. And furthermore, if you're talking about finding fraud, waste, and abuse, and I already knew money was going overseas to this, that, and other, and for years I've known that.
Years.
The average person should have known that. But instead of gutting these agencies, this, that, and the other, how about you start where the funding came from Congress? They're appropriating funds here, there, and everywhere. So instead of going down to these agencies that are affecting these workers, how about you hold Congress's feet to the fire, because they create all of these bills that are 400, 500 pages that the average person is not going to read. Like when they say, oh, the food stamp bill or the farm bill, and it's tied to aid to Ukraine or aid to Afghanistan, this, that, and that. How about you start there instead of going directly to the agency and say, oh, we found this, we found that. Who appropriated those funds? Go to the oversight committee, because that is what you're supposed to be doing, the oversight committee.
Because Congress doesn't appropriate money like that in detail. They will give the Pentagon XYZ billions of dollars, and then
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that they don't provide that level of oversight. Once they allocate that money to a particular agency or whatever the case may be, how that money is carved up. And you know this because if you watch C-SPAN, if you go into YouTube and you type C-SPAN congressional meetings on Musk's finding. If you put it just like that, you can sit there and watch all of the C-SPAN, because you know they got the cameras in there, and they're told that most of these congressmen, even Democrats, are saying they didn't even know about some of this stuff.
But they're appropriating the funds to that.
Yeah,
they're not.
No. Congress is in charge of the money. If you give the Defense Department $800 billion, and you say, okay, here's $800 billion, I don't know what you're doing with it, that's Congress's fault.
They have the power.
They need to have the correct oversight and looking into where this money is going, and hold those particular agencies accountable for where this money is going. If Congress appropriates these funds and they do an audit and go line by line where this money is going, that could eliminate a lot of these problems. How do you sit there and say, well, we've audited the Defense Department over the last 5-10 years and they never pass an audit, and you do nothing about it as Congress? But you throw Doge in there and say, oh, we found this, we found that. Wait a minute. If Congress is saying, oh, we did an audit of the Defense Department for the last 5 years and they never passed an audit, then apparently you're not doing your job in Congress.
Because the money that they allowed them to spend, also it's campaign money that's coming back to them. It's other things. I mean, you got to understand that this corruption is not just in all. You already seen the reports out here. Like they're right now talking about auditing Congress alone because they can't figure out how congressmen are multimillionaires having $10 million, $12 million in net worth with only $170,000 worth of income. How people that are working in Congress offices, like they show from 1970 up until now.
That's my point.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, so they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it.
Exactly.
You can turn around and say give it to Congress, but Congress is not going to do it if there's corruption in there. Like that girl
at the biggest court in the land, they don't want to hold themselves accountable. And that's on the Republican side.
The Supreme Court and Congress.
It sounds like y'all making a case for tearing this down. It sounds like y'all making a case for tearing this down. Y'all making a case.
My thing is this: you starting at the bottom and disrupting everyone's lives instead of going to where the accountability should be with Congress. That's where the accountability should be. Instead of starting at the bottom, disrupting everybody's lives. Now these people are going to be jobless, and all kinds of things going on with them. Like people relocated, can't pay the mortgage. They can't.
But I'll say this:
how are they going to go back to Congress when Congress is corrupt? How can they go back to a corrupt institution?
The same way they are going to these agencies and calling them corrupt.
Right. The same way they're going after the little people, go after the big.
Yeah, but I'll ask this: how do people get into Congress?
Through their Congress people.
They're voted in, right?
Yeah,
right.
So if society, if the entire nation decides that Congress is corrupt, shouldn't it be the job of the society to vote Congress out?
I don't think they pay attention.
It should be.
I think we have a real problem here where the government is not afraid of the people.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't care.
Government should be afraid of the people.
They should, but they don't. I want to bring up one.
What are your thoughts on this?
Let's talk about. I want to talk about something. Let's talk about. They're talking about taking away the HB1, I think it was.
The visa,
and they want to basically pay to play.
A gold card.
It's pay to play now. So
for $5 million.
Yeah. So in other words, what are we doing here?
What are we doing?
That's a tariff. That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked you a question. That's why I asked you one question. See, you could tell.
That's pay to play. That's pay to play.
That's my point. Here's my point. Darryl, I would love to come on a show with you by yourself.
Darryl,
I would love to come on a show.
Darryl,
let me tell you why.
Darryl, no. Hold on. Let's put the brakes on real quick. Darryl, just like what I asked you last time about those people at January 6th feeling like they're emboldened. It came out, they work. I'm telling you this again. This is pay to play. This is pay to play. So now you're going to have the wealthy people coming in. And they can bring their family member and get, what is it? As long as they're under the age of 21 or something like that.
Something like that.
So now you're paying to play.
So is this an executive order or legislation? What is it? Tell me what it is.
This is an executive idea that he is coming up with. He's working on, and he said it should be implemented in the next couple of weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
He said this out of his mouth.
Okay, what does he want to do? Tell me what he wants to do. Tell me what.
So what he wants to do is pretty much get rid of HB1 visas and create a gold card to where you pay $5 million in order to get into this country. And it's like a pathway to citizenship.
Right. Now,
and he said out of his mouth, the wealthy people will come in, they'll pay taxes, they'll have a quicker pathway to citizenship, this, that, and other. That's what he was saying out of his mouth. This is not right wing, left wing, or independent media.
Right.
He said this out of his mouth.
So now, just to let you know, I just got that information, and here's what I do. So that's why I said I would love to come on. I would love, Craig, for you to give me these points. The reason why, I'm going to tell you why. Because you know what I'm going to do? I see right here, Routers, good magazine, Trump floats 5 million gold card as a route to citizenship. The first thing I want to know is, okay, what are the benefits? What are the pros and cons? What are you selling? So I'm going to do my research on it before I come back. So, but I'm saying most of the time what you do, you just throw something out and just say it's bad.
But wait, on this one, I know I heard him say it directly out of his mouth. I heard him say it out of his mouth, and the gentleman who is sponsoring this was right there next to him, and Marco Rubio was sitting on the other side while they were talking about this. Now you say, what are the benefits, this, that, and the other? I haven't went that far into it because when he said it, I was like, are you serious right now?
This is an idea.
That's what I'm saying. Because no matter what Trump says, no matter what he says, it's going to be that.
Hold on.
But this is what he's hoping to do.
At the top of our sphere. Hold on. At the top of our sphere, what do we initially think of? Because we're intelligent people. What are we thinking? If he's saying you got to pay to come in here, now that means that none of these SHAT whole countries are going to come in. That's the bottom line. Pay to play.
But here's the other thing too. You already know that you gotta listen. Here's one thing I could tell you. I don't even know the argument, and I haven't seen it. But one of the things I could tell you this: the average person who's a multi-millionaire like that don't have to worry about trying to get into this country if they got $5 million. So first of all, they got $5 million to pay.
Yeah.
But so I'm just off the top. This is just me speculating. I'm speculating that he's trying to figure out a way to get other countries, like maybe India, that's a part of, let me understand what I'm thinking, because I understand BRICS. That's part of BRICS. To turn around, if you want your people to come over here and to work, as a country, you got to pay for that. So this is a mechanism of their floating around. Now, I don't know the answer. I'm just saying, I'm coming off the top of my dome. But what I do is I do my homework to see, well, what is behind this? I want to vet a person's idea before I turn around and just say, Trump now wants to every American to sell Girl Scout cookies. And oh my God.
Hold on. We're again. We know what Trump wants. And my thing is, I think even further beyond that. A lot of these countries own a lot of our buildings, our roads, and things of that nature. You continue on this path, we're going to be paying other countries to be here. You understand? We're going to be paying other countries to be here. There's roads that we actually drive on that are owned by Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
There are farms that are owned by China, Russia, India.
What happens when you continue to let these people pay to play and they're coming into this country? Let's think about this now. What happens?
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do though. I'm gonna vet that. And I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna be like this. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Head on. Okay, so what do you think about the January 6th? Him letting them people go now? Now that you've seen what happened,
You've
seen the news. You've seen those people think that they're above the law. They believe that anything that they did prior to January 6th, during January 6th, or anything after, they're above.
But here's the point. I always told you before. I never had an opinion on letting people go, just like I never had an opinion on Biden. My opinion was only on that it was a riot. That was my only argument.
Your argument was that Big Daddy
let them.
You said, let's go down that road again. Let's not go down that road again.
No, I argued, Craig. Well, you go back and get the tape now. We can go back and rewind.
You said, go back to the tape. You said Trump, Trump promised them to let them go, so Big Daddy took care of them. Big Brother took care of them.
That's what he did. Right. I didn't say I agreed with it or disagreed with it. I told you the same thing with Biden. I said Biden did the same thing. So I said I didn't think either one of them. I had no opinion on it, but I said my only opinion was really on the fact that that was my argument. My argument point. See now, you don't understand, man. I do this, man. I do this.
Oh man!
I said, Victor, soul touching. Did I not say these people feel emboldened? Did I not say that?
Yeah.
I said that.
And I never disagree with that.
I agree, y'all. You disagree.
Like, you want me to, you want to buy an argument now with me?
So y'all got nothing to argue about. Y'all don't need nothing.
You ain't gonna have
Okay, soul toucher. His whole thing was, I'm not gonna agree with Craig.
No.
Not gonna do it. Nope.
I like to find the arguments. I like to find the arguments where I can stand on something.
Ain't no way I'm gonna agree with Craig.
That's all right. Y'all gonna fuss and fuss around and turn around and agree on something by accident. That's all right. You're gonna be right here.
Listen. We probably agree on a lot of things when it comes to socioeconomics, the care for the poor, the disenfranchised, treating people fairly. Like I hear Soul, I believe in treating people fairly. I don't like seeing somebody lose their job and go home and they got bills to pay and they got kids and other things of that nature. So yeah, I'm sensitive to all of that stuff. I'm a pastor. I wouldn't be a pastor and wouldn't care about it. What I care about a lot right now is though, I care a lot about the people, from my opinion, being duped. And I think that the Democrats that we got in office right now, I believe it. Now keep in mind, locally, I vote Democrat, right? Like I vote Democrat in Clarendon County, Sumter County. I up and down the ticket, without even question. I voted Democrat most of my life, up and down the ticket without any questions. And so the problem I had is when, I started seeing other things come up that it was almost like, well, that's not like, for example, how the news put out that 21 people that we were talking on the chat, 21 people fired from
they walked off. They walked
off. But then when you go, I said, okay, well, wow, that's neat. And I went and looked because somebody in my family sent that to me before you guys did. Some of my family sent it to me. So I went and looked. I said, wow, they jumping ship. So I went and looked and it said, oh, these are former employees. But the media won't. Yes, they are.
No. They're still Republicans. There's still Republicans who are hell-bent on not agreeing with everything Trump says because they're feeling the heat from their constituents. And you can look that up.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those 21 staffers that were
repurposed into being those employees.
Did you see what I sent you?
So those people that left, they were already
career
carryover. They were carryover. So it's not like brand new those people left that he hired. So that's what I'm saying. That's a misrepresentation of that media article, and that's what my problem is. My problem is if you tell me the truth, I can kind of say, okay, but when you start trying to manipulate the truth and bend it, that's what I don't like. I don't like the liberal spin.
Do you believe that the White House is doing that now? When they're kicking out anybody, any media that they don't believe is going to be saying positive things about them.
Wait. They're not kicking them out. They're banishing them and suing them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they just lost, and AP just lost their lawsuit.
AP News lost their lawsuit? Wow.
Here's the thing.
You know why? Because they're not banned from the press. They're banned from there's certain meetings that are privileged meetings that they don't have to be there.
Here's the thing.
Meetings.
All know
they've been locked out of privileged meetings, and the judge ruled that, you know, if it's a privileged meeting and you don't have to be there and somebody else doesn't have to be, then it's their right to select, but they can't ban you out of the general meetings that are there.
Here's the thing.
So in other words, AP was typically with him on the plane.
Right.
They ain't on the plane no more.
Here's the thing. We all know Trump doesn't want anybody saying anything bad about him.
Who does?
I'll debate him.
Yeah.
I'll debate him. Here's
too.
the thing. He's a petulant child.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want anyone to say anything bad about him. He gets in his feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So I can't say I agree with that. You want somebody who's going to ask you those tough questions, who's not going to agree with you on everything.
Well, how come Biden only took 140? I think they said 141 questions in the article that I read on this, opposed to President Trump. I'm not, like I said, not advocating for Trump. I'm just looking at the disparity in the numbers. He did over 1,400, took over 1,400, where Biden was like 100 and something.
Okay, I think you can answer that question. He's a narcissist.
No, I said, well, it doesn't matter. He's
a narcissist. He's a narcissist. Everything is about him.
You see how you just going on?
Press secretary.
Okay, Dick, you see what he just did? Dick, you just see that?
He's a narcissist.
Yeah, see, now.
That's not me bloviating or
so what the narcissists want the people, so what the narcissists want them in there?
It's about him.
Okay.
It's about him. That's why he got up there and said, can't you use some bleach and inject it or something like that? He's a narcissist. You know this, and I know it.
Oh my goodness!
Let's not do this, Daryl.
All right. It's time to wrap this up. That's a little more, but last word.
You gotta invite me on your show, man. You got a show? You invite me on your show. I'm gonna invite y'all on my show. I'm gonna give you the talking points. Y'all better do your homework.
All right, Soul Toucher. Last word. Final words.
I don't know, man. I think they need to do better at how they're trying to implement some of these plans. I'm not going to say that all of their ideas are crazy, far left, far right, whatever. However, when you're doing something, this is not a corporation. This is the government, the United States government. You can't just go in there and just turn things upside down and think everything's going to run smoothly. You could do that with General Motors. You can do that with Kellogg's. You can do that with Black & Decker. But we're talking about how our country is being ran, and we have checks and balances. Just respect the checks and balances. Respect the Constitution. Respect the constituents that put you where you are. And just do right by people. I mean, there's a better way instead of doing all this madness and turning people's lives upside down. And now people have buyer's remorse. I mean, just decorum.
All right, Craig, last words.
Well, I would have to say I agree with Soul Toucher and what he's saying. Just have a little decorum about you. Professionalism means a lot, especially in the White House. You have to have some type of professionalism about you. If you're going to do things where you're going to uproot people's lives, that's just not the way to go. People put you in a chair because they thought you were going to do some things that were going to help them, not destroy their livelihood. And some people who voted or didn't vote, they said, well, it doesn't affect me either way. And they're finding out that it does. And so I think that people need to do their homework. Like Pastor Darrell spoke on, we need to really dig deep into what we're asking of our government officials. And if they cannot do what you're asking them to do, within reason, then you need to get yourself out and vote. Bottom line.
All right, Daryl.
I think that I like what I see Elon Musk is doing with Doge. I like the shake up. I believe that for generations and for decades, presidents and leaders and people, and all of the videos that I've been watching of people who said that they were going to make change and could not make change. I believe that when change is made, it's radical. I think just no differently than coming to faith in Christ. It's a radical change in a person's life, or whatever you believe, whatever your faith is. It's exemplified by, changing your behavior, people seeing you not as they were before. And so I think to get to the point, I don't think there's such a thing as that we can kind of ease our way into it. I think that it's radical. It's a extremist position. When somebody wants to get fit, then they got to do the extreme things to get fit. When somebody wants to be successful, to become a doctor, you got to be extreme to be doctor. And I see that we see extremities happening, and people don't like the pain. But I don't think that Trump is a savior. I believe that my philosophy is in the kingdom of God. I like to see this whole thing dismantle and something else emerge out of it. I'm not going to go into that, but I still do believe that that he is an instrument and a device right now in these particular times to peel back the covers that people might see something. And that's what I think, and that's what I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying the fact that, wow, I could actually see where they've already shown you where $1 trillion, over almost $2 trillion now has gone in waste and monies that, that we should be ashamed of. And I think that all of the American people should make it their business to go look and see. And most of us don't want to go look and see. We want to stay with our talking points and our hostility. But like I said, radical change and transformation, it's radical. It's always going to be radical transformation change. That's my final thoughts.
And my final thought is, the longer change is resisted, the more radical and abrupt and sudden the change is and radical that has to happen in order to make that change happen. People losing their jobs is never a good thing. And people suddenly losing their job is horrible. And personally, I think it sucks that when the company or the government fires you, they fire you instantly. But if you're leaving the company, they expect you to give a 2 weeks notice. They're just kind of not fair. But that's the way it is. And just because you're not on one side doesn't require you to be on the other side. Sometimes you can just look at all the sides and say all of y'all are foolish in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I think that's what Jesus did. I'm gonna go all up into that, but you're not required to be on the side if you see that both sides are engaging in their own form of foolishness and wrong.
Harold, I just want to end with this real quick. I'm getting a lot of text messages. You just blew it.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming on. Okay, fine. They can talk about me.
That's all right. Fine. Listen, they can talk about me. Tell them this. Tell them I love them. Tell them I love them, and I wouldn't fire none of them.
Oh, man.
Hey, God bless you, gentlemen, man.
Yeah, good. All right, God, love you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. Everyone, remember, like, comment, subscribe. Comment, like, subscribe, whether you like us or hate us. All right, peace.
Oh no! One thing before we go. He had the last word. Next time we talk, I want to talk about the MSNBC and CNN ratings drop. I want to talk about that.
All right.
Oh yeah, of course. The ratings drop. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
But we're gonna talk about why. We're gonna talk about why.
All right, I'll look it up. I got you.
All right, we're all looking up. Come back by research.
You know I'm gonna find something you didn't find, and I'm gonna